In recent years, the protection activities of wildlife in Vietnam has been remarkably focused. The investment and monitoring of traffic cases, illegal consumption of endangered wildlife activity has gained much attention from the governmental agencies as well as local authorities. Media campaigns and events through radio programs, short films and competitions have played important roles in raising public awareness of wildlife protection. In addition, international cooperation has also been carried out in various forms, such as the implementation of joint research programs on the trafficking of wild animals in Vietnam. The training program also referred to the monitoring activities of wildlife trafficking and establishing centers of wild rescue at localities.
Khi mà nói về cái vấn đề bảo vệ động vật hoang dã thì rất nhiều người, thậm chí hoặc là các bạn trẻ mọi người cũng nghĩ rằng là cái việc bảo vệ động vật hoang dã thì thật ra có vẻ rất là khó khăn và có khi đấy là công việc của các nhà bảo tồn, những cái người như chúng tôi. Nhưng mà theo chúng tôi thì cái việc bảo vệ động vật hoang dã thì vô cùng đơn giản, bởi vì bản thân mỗi người chúng ta, việc mà chúng ta không tiêu thụ động vật hoang dã thôi thì đấy là một cái hành động để bảo vệ động vật hoang dã rồi.
On today's program, we will have a talk to the representative from Traffic Vietnam to find out more information about the significant achievements of wildlife protection activities in Vietnam in recent years.
Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 and Vietnam Nhận. In recent years, Vietnam has made great efforts in protecting the wild animals in nature, and a lot of projects and activities which has been implemented with the support from the international organizations to create the positive results. In our program today, we have a talk to Mrs. Madeleine Williamson, then representative from the Traffic Vietnam organization, and she will share about the significant results and achievements of the wild animal protection activities in Vietnam. Thank you, Mrs. Madeleine Williamson, for joining our program today. So, first of all, what do you think about the animal protection activities in Vietnam in recent years?
I think Vietnam is making a lot of progress. However, Vietnam remains a country where there's a lot of trafficking, sourcing, and also purchasing of wildlife and endangered wildlife happening. So we need to work very hard on improving that. It is very important that we help the Vietnamese government and, of course, the Vietnamese public to find means to stop and combating wildlife trade that is illegal and harms endangered species.
Can you share some of the significant achievements of the wild animal protection activities in Vietnam?
Vietnam has done an amazing job. There's lots of NGOs that are doing great work. Also, I know that the CITES Management Authority is working very hard on improving the trade as well as the Customs Department and lots of other government agencies like CCPE that Traffic is working together with at the moment are really trying to address wildlife consumption, endangered wildlife consumption, especially rhino horn, because it is a big crime. It is such a priority because the African rain states are very much involved as well. So there's a lot of international pressure. But there's also lots of other trade happening. For example, bears are doing it very tough. The Asiatic bears are doing it really tough. Also tigers. There's only 10, we think, about 10 tigers left in the wild in Vietnam.
Right. So what are the effects of these activities and campaigns in raising the public awareness of the wildlife protection?
Yeah, it's very important to educate the Vietnamese people about the importance of biodiversity, about the importance of species in an ecosystem and what role they play. These wild animals are magnificent and beautiful, and I would really like my children and my grandchildren, and I know a lot of Vietnamese would like that too. But what I think is even more important is that we need to work to change the behavior of the Vietnamese people so that they can say, well, I am not consuming rhino horn. And we want to do the same thing for tigers. We want to do the same thing for bears, for people to start understanding that there are good alternatives. For example, Animals Asia has worked with the Traditional Medicine Association here in Vietnam to produce a list of very good alternatives for bear bile.
I know that Traffic Vietnam is also an organization which has made a lot of efforts in supporting the wild animal protection activities in Vietnam. So can you share some of the good results of the organization in this field in recent years?
So we've been working very closely with VCCI, for example, the Vietnamese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where we have reached a lot of people and talked about how rhinos are important and how we need to have a zero tolerance to wildlife consumption and how they can integrate that, especially for the businessmen, into their businesses by using corporate social responsibility. We created a guide. Another example is our MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, with CCPE. We are working with the Central Committee for Propaganda and Education to really start bringing out the message for a zero tolerance of wildlife consumption.
One of the outstanding campaigns in reducing rhino horns in Vietnam in 2015 is Chỉ, run by the Wildlife Trade Monitoring Network Traffic Vietnam. The campaign Chỉ performed various new approaches through the use of multimedia communication channels such as billboard, digital signs, direct communication teams, business network events. According to a recent survey announced by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species CITES Vietnam, the demand for purchase and use of rhino horn in Vietnam has declined by 38%, and the number of people believe in the healing of the horn fell by 25.4% thanks to the propaganda campaigns to raise awareness of the society.
I think the program can only be successful if we have more people joining us in the campaign and more people out there to share the information and talk to your other friend about the program and the project.
Apart from reducing demand for rhino horn, communication campaigns to end the bear bile farmings in Vietnam have also been implemented. Outstandingly, the Education for Nature Center (ENV), with the support of World Animal Protection Organization, has made a lot of campaigns in Vietnam in 2015. Recently, the painting competition of Actions for Wildlife, run by ENV in 2014, has finished with positive results. According to Vietnam's Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, by 2015, only 1,250 bears were captured across the country, showing the decrease of 72% compared to the one of 2005.
Rất là vui mừng là càng ngày càng có người dân người ta gọi điện đến để thông báo các cái vi phạm liên quan động vật hoang dã. Trung bình thì mỗi ngày thì chúng tôi có thể nhận được, gần đây chúng tôi nhận được từ 2 đến 3 vụ việc vi phạm, và sau đó thì chúng tôi phối hợp với các cơ quan chức năng để xử lý thông tin và có cái kết quả cuối cùng để phản hồi lại người dân. Với các cái hoạt động truyền thông thì ENV vẫn liên tục tổ chức những cái hoạt động truyền thông tại các trường học hay các cái điểm công cộng để thu hút cái sự tham gia của cộng đồng, ví dụ như là các cái triển lãm bảo vệ động vật hoang dã, triển lãm bảo vệ gấu, triển lãm bảo vệ tê giác, và đặc biệt là với cái sự hỗ trợ của các đài truyền hình trung ương cũng như là địa phương thì ENV đã phát sóng rất là nhiều cái thông điệp bảo vệ động vật hoang dã ở trên các cái đài phát thanh, các trên đài truyền hình trung ương và địa phương. Gần đây thì chúng tôi được cái sự hỗ trợ của doanh nghiệp cũng rất là nhiều. Các cái cụm rạp chiếu phim như là ở Platinum hay ở Hà Nội hay là ԲHD ở trong thành phố Hồ Chí Minh thì các đơn vị đó đã hỗ trợ ENV trong việc mà phát sóng miễn phí những cái thông điệp bảo vệ động vật hoang dã. Thì chúng tôi thấy rằng là đây là một cái kênh truyền thông cũng rất là hiệu quả để khuyến khích người dân thông báo các cái vi phạm về động vật hoang dã hay là tham gia tích cực hơn vào công tác bảo tồn động vật hoang dã.
Vietnamese people have gradually played positive roles in preventing the illegal trafficking of wild animals. From 2005 until now, ENV has recorded nearly 8,500 wildlife violation cases, of which a lot of cases were reported by local people via hotlines. To prevent and terminate this issue, above all, we need the involvement of authorities in improving legislation and law, local and foreign corporate social responsibility, and the support of everyone in the society.
What do you think about the Vietnamese local people's activeness in joining these kind of activities?
I think we have a lot of very enthusiastic Vietnamese people. They're really helpful and they're really keen to do the right thing. And I think the right thing is all about finding the strength from within and not succumb to peer pressure to, purchase rhino horn or to use bear bile, because some of these things are very integrated in a culture and are really important for people because it feels it gives them status or a certain respect. So with the right partners, the right government partners, the right NGOs, we can really make a change.
Apart from the good results, are there any drawbacks and troubles in this field that have not been tackled yet?
There's also quite a lot of people left that are more conservative and don't like to change their behavior. So we really need the champions. And I think having people help us do that, having the people that are enthusiastic about protecting wildlife, and especially Vietnamese wildlife, such as the tigers and the bears. One of the things that I feel Vietnam is lacking in, and I'm not the only one, is the law enforcement aspect of the endangered wildlife trade. However, we are working with the Vietnamese government and would continue to work with them in the future to try to address that and try to find ways to make law enforcement around the wildlife trade more effective.
In next step, do you have any recommendations for the governmental and provincial organizations and authorities in accelerating the activities of protecting the wild animals further?
So I would like the government to, and they have a really good chance now with the revision of the penal code, to really address the wildlife trade issues and the legality around endangered wildlife consumption in the penal code. I would like them to really look at that. So, together with the Vietnamese government, trying to give them the right choices, get the law enforcement into place and much stronger, because it is unfortunately quite weak now, and work with the Vietnamese society, have champions popping up everywhere. We can really make a change for wildlife, not only for wildlife, but also climate change and other conservation issues.
Okay, so can you share more about the activities at Traffic Vietnam in supporting the wild animal protection activities in Vietnam in the future?
Well, in the next coming months, we're full on working with VCCI, CCPE to deliver our behavior change activities to stop consumption for rhino horn, and we'll be coaching and mentoring different companies to start integrating corporate social responsibility for a zero tolerance to wildlife consumption. So that's really quite exciting. We're trying to train staff, trying to look at where the barriers are for them to implement their work and help them resolve those issues.
Thank you, Mrs. Marilyn Williamson, for joining our program today. And that is also the end of our program Sharing Vietnam. In our program today, we have given you a lot of information regarding to the significant achievements of the activities and campaigns in protecting the wild animals in Vietnam in recent years. And we do hope that there will be more campaigns and activities like this be implemented in the future to raise the public awareness towards this issue and protect the wild animals in the nature. For comments and feedbacks, please send it to sharingvietnam@netvittv.net. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.